As we were walking, I saw that on each of our steps the ground was collapsing and a new land was appearing. It was like a new world was rising before us. I saw new kind of species and being. It was a new reality. As we continued to move, I saw beautiful lady and beautiful men. They were like Barbie, and they were calling me and trying to get my attention. But Elizabeth's daughter said, you must resist them and ignore them until we reach our destination, otherwise it's your end. I said to myself, Elizabeth's daughter cut all my communication and I have no protection. What would happen to me? I concentrated in order to ignore the advance of these handsome people. Finally we arrived before a huge sea. As we stood before the Atlantic Ocean, the wave began to cover our feet, and she told me to relax. When we began to enter the ocean, she said, fear not. Suddenly Elizabeth's daughter said, I have to go. Immediately I saw that I was submerged by an oceanic wave, and I began to descend beneath the water. I saw that I was wearing woman bead on my hip. When I descended beneath the Atlantic Ocean, firstly I passed the first water. When I left the first layer of the oceanic water, I entered the second layer of the Atlantic Ocean. Immediately I began to witness extraordinary and mythological beasts and monsters. I saw huge anaconda, I saw massive crevasse, I saw a crocodile that does not exist. It was a monster. I saw a snake with many heads, I saw a tortoise with many horns. They were beasts of the marine kingdom not to be found in the surface world. I saw mysterious beasts of the sea unimaginable. You can never imagine beasts that are under the sea. As I descended beneath the Atlantic Ocean, I saw a race of men having beastly shape. They were hybrid creatures. They were huge with monstrous shape. When you see monsters of the ocean you will fear. I continued to get down, and when I reached the floor of the second layer of the Atlantic Ocean, a portal opened, and I descended in that portal in the third layer of the Atlantic Ocean. Finally I arrive in the marine kingdom. Quickly I saw a tall woman who was skinny and very bright. She had all kind of makeup you can imagine. I never saw this kind of makeup. I don't know whether they are beautiful ladies like her. I saw that this was a fantasy world where everything was like paradise, luxurious and shining. I saw that the lady was surrounded by countless naked women who have no sex. These ladies of the sea had extreme makeup and beauty. I saw shining flower beautiful in this place. When I got closer to this multitude of goddesses, I heard a voice that said, you are welcomed, greet the queen. Immediately I saw all the goddesses greeting the queen who was seated on her throne shining. I was supposed to greet the queen of the ocean, but I failed to do so. I said, why should I greet the queen? I serve the god of union. Therefore the queen got angry and began to shine. As a result her hair became straight and her eyes turned red. Then I saw light in the shape of two hands coming from her back and seizing me and throwing me before her throne. I saw the queen pouring oceanic sand on me. As a result I saw my lower part taking the shape of a fish, and I became like these goddesses. The queen of the sea asked me to sit by her side, and she told me, you have come here because we have a mission for you. The house that we gave you is not a house but a reception and welcoming point, for I am sending ladies of the sea and water spirit to the surface of the earth, so that they will make an impact in this generation. We need more ladies of the sea in the surface of the earth. We have been sending our children to the surface. However, these Christians are arresting children of the sea and killing them. When Christians destroy spiritual wives, these marine spirits are destroyed, for they cannot return to the water. The queen said to me, since I am sending children of the sea to the surface, you will work with them and receive them in your house. You will rule in the surface with the queen, and you will regularly attend our meeting beneath the Atlantic Ocean. The queen told me, you have terrestrial power but now you have received marine power. Note that these are different power, and there are often conflict between our kingdom and demons of the earth. Therefore be careful. You can go now, for your stay has finished. You got to return. The Queen Elizabeth will reveal to you your first mission. In the morning you are going back. I saw that in this kingdom they had day and night cycle. I was taken to a house in order to sleep. When I looked at the house I saw that it was a huge stone. When the door opened in that stone I got inside, and I saw that it was furnished with everything, even a fridge with food, just like Elizabeth's house. The food was human bone, meat and human body part. Later I came out of the house and I began to observe the sky. I saw that there was glass separating this Atlantic kingdom and the second layer of the Atlantic Ocean, and I was able to see mythical beast and demonic monster roaming the ocean water. Suddenly I began to rise upward towards the portal, and I saw the queen pointing his hand towards me, and she released a reddish light that hit me on the forehead, and suddenly I found myself in my new apartment on the surface world. I made a call to my master, who said to me, "Congratulations, you have succeeded in your mission, but I cannot see you. Are you not under the water? For I cannot see you." I said, "I am no longer underwater. I will come out of the house. Maybe you can see me." It was then my master became able to see me. Immediately I received a call from Elizabeth. She said, "Baby, get inside the house quickly and sit on the sofa, and don't move." I got back in the house and I sat on the sofa. Later I heard someone knocking on the door. When I opened the door I saw nobody, and I wonder who was knocking the door. I went back to sit and I slept. Suddenly I felt a cold air, like water, entering the house. When I opened my eyes I saw the basin of water and I saw Elizabeth. She said, "You are really a strong man. You have succeeded in your journey. Did you see my daughter, the goddess Gabby? She is a beautiful goddess. Prepare yourself for the mission that will give you a lot of money. By the way, I cooked fufu for you." I said to Elizabeth, "I am not eating fufu. I need to eat human flesh." She said, "In that case we need to kill someone. Now choose a victim. I am going to the city center, but you can go out for everything is done." Elizabeth said, "Your body knocked the door. Did you see it?" I said, "I heard someone knocking the door but I saw nobody." She said, "It was your body that you left when you went beneath the Atlantic Ocean. It is the demon Okionum that was animating your body when you were beneath the water. The demon is gone and your body that came to knock is already united with your spirit. When I traveled beneath the Atlantic, the demon Okionum was animating my body walking in the street." Later a friend in the neighborhood told me, "Abby, what's wrong? I was calling you but you were ignoring me there in the street." I said my thought was somewhere else, but in truth I was under the Atlantic Ocean and my body was animated by the demon Okionum, for my spirit was out of the body, which was indwelled by the demon who was animating it. The Queen of Queens of the Atlantic Ocean, the goddess Elizabeth, encountered my terrestrial wife. Days after relocating with the mermaid Elizabeth, I received the visit of my wife and child. I did not like this visit. I welcomed my wife and child at home and we were talking, when suddenly the goddess Elizabeth came out of the water in the basin. She was actually cooking in the kitchen. When my wife and child came, she stopped cooking and came out of the water in anger and she was vibrating. I saw that her hair was stretched up and her eyes has become red. She said, "Baby, what have you done? Why have you allowed this to happen? They should never come here. You know it perfectly well." While Elizabeth was shouting, my wife and child could not see or hear her shouting. She said, "Who are these people?" I said, "They are my wife and child." She replied, "I can see that she has come here to provoke me and cause trouble. You see, she is the one who started it. She's gonna pay." I saw that Elizabeth was holding a knife and she was determined to stab my wife and child. She said, "Baby, I am gonna kill her now. Do you want me to kill her now?" I was begging Elizabeth, who was extremely angry, and trying to calm her down, since she was extremely angry. When I felt that she was about to kill my wife, I immediately invoked the angel of Satan called Jorgen. This angel of Satan was put in my disposal to pray and intercede for me. She also resolved conflict in marriage of Satanist and water mermaid. I know pastor and evangelist in the city that are married to water mermaid, and they work with these angels of Satan that restrict the mermaid from killing their terrestrial wives and children. When this angel landed in the house, she began to calm down the goddess Elizabeth, and I saw that the knife she was holding in order to kill my wife had returned to its previous form. The mermaid said to this angel of Satan, "You're gonna tell Baby, this is the last time this woman and child come here, otherwise I will kill them. Anyway, I am asking my daughter to monitor them. This is a warning, for I will not hesitate." As the angel of Satan continued to calm her down, I continued to talk to my wife and child. I said to my wife, "I am traveling to Central Congo. I won't be here for months. You're gonna stay with my mother or you can go back to your family." My wife began to protest, saying, "You already found an accommodation. We should live together. I am not leaving." but the more she spoke the more I became restless and animated by the spirit of anger, and I threw a bottle toward her. Thank God I missed her though she was injured by projectile, and when I began to beat my wife I saw the goddess Elizabeth who was laughing and very happy. Quickly the neighbor came to intervene and they took my wife away. When she was about to leave, I wanted to give her some money that Elizabeth gave me, but the latter would not let me give her the money. She was so angry that she told me, "You gonna take that money from her?" "I don't want her to take my money," Elizabeth told me. "Since you are aggravating me I will get your son blood, and if you continue with this attitude my children will kill your family." I wanted to call Jorgen the angel of Satan for the second time to calm Elizabeth. I noticed that she had cut all my communication. I realized that I had no choice but to get Elizabeth money from my wife, for she threatened to kill my wife because of her money. When my wife and child left, Elizabeth said, "Baby, get inside the house and sit down." When I got inside she came to sit on my lap and began to caress me. I came to realize that mermaids are creatures that are advanced in terms of seduction, lust and sexuality. They are spirit of sexual impurity. When Elizabeth was caressing me I felt a peace like never before. Later we went to a bar in the city. When I ordered the beer I asked Elizabeth, "What are you going to drink?" She said, "I have a glass of blood that I will drink." I asked her, "Whose blood are you gonna drink?" She said, "It's the blood of your son." "I already told you, but he will not die. This is to warn you that if you continue with that woman I will kill her." Few days later, I got a call from my mother telling me that my son was in critical situation. I invoked the God of Union. The latter told me, "I cannot do anything about your child. Your case is in the hand of the Queen of Queens of the Atlantic Ocean in Nigeria." I asked for a password so that I can travel under the ocean to meet the Queen of Queens that I met last time. But this God said, "You are stubborn and don't obey, that is why you are in this situation." I tried to beg this God but he was categorical, for in the world of Satan there is no such thing as mercy and compassion. They don't change their no to yes. When I came face to face with Elizabeth, I said, "What are you trying to do? Are you trying to kill my child?" "You will not kill my child, otherwise you will have to kill me." Elizabeth replied to me, "Baby, do you know that if you die today you will still be my husband and you will be with me? Whether you are alive or dead you will be my husband beneath the Atlantic and in the surface, and we will continue as usual. And you are not going anywhere, and it make no difference whether you are alive or dead, for you are linked to me. You have no place to run away from me. We shall always be husband and wife." Marine spirit and the search of human body. Elizabeth told me, "Darling, the time has come for me to incarnate a human body. I cannot continue to live on the surface of the earth without a body. I need to operate physically on the earth. Render me this service. I need the body of a lady to function in the world of man physically. You need to navigate the street of the city in order to find me the funeral of a woman. I will need to use her body in the physical world." I began to navigate every street of the city in search of a funeral. In the end I saw a family that had lost a loved one and they were in mourning. When I saw the photo of the deceased woman, Elizabeth instructed me to follow the body to the burial ceremony. When we arrive at the cemetery a pastor began to pray for the burial ceremony. There are pastors when they pray whatever they say is done in heaven, but they are also pastors when they pray their word are empty. And when this pastor was praying and declaring words, I checked his spiritual condition and I saw that he was empty and his words were powerless. He was saying, "I stopped and block spirit that come to use corpses in the cemetery in the name of Jesus Christ," but in truth there was no power in his words. When it was time to drop flower in the tomb, Elizabeth said to me, "When you drop flower recite my name 3 times, this was her password. When I dropped the flower in the tomb immediately the spirit of the deceased lady that was in the coffin rose up and joined me, and we went out of the cemetery and began to walk in the street. The eyes of this lady was closed but she was walking after me. As we walked the street, whenever there was the presence and power of God, Elizabeth was telling me to deviate for God power can cancel and abort this operation. Later I summoned my owl that was supposed to set up a perimeter of protection of about 30 meters to prevent power and rays of men of God from returning this woman's spirit to her tomb. When I got to Elizabeth she entered the body of the lady which disappear. Later on when I was at home, I saw the lady that I brought from the cemetery. She was walking physically in the street. It was actually the goddess Elizabeth that was animating her body. She was indwelling the body of a deceased woman. It was then I began to live with this goddess physically. People were asking me who was the lady, and they encouraged me to live with her for she had a beautiful face. When she became physical, she said to me, "Since you helped me get this human body, I need more of your help."